Hi, my name is Keri Barnum. I am the Executive Director of New Shelves Books, and we are here today for Free Advice Fridays. One of the questions we got in this week from Sarah was how we stream on Zoom, how we do live, how we get everything up on YouTube and a website. I know a lot of authors are trying to create content, and it seems a little bit overwhelming to get everything up on all the platforms, right? Well, I'm going to show you how, because we have a couple of tips and tricks that we use that make it easier, because I don't do a Zoom and a separate Facebook Live and all these other things. It's all kind of connected. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share the whole thing. Whoop, look at that. All right, you guys, so when we are in Zoom, hopefully you guys can see my screen because I'm sharing, I can't see all the chat. But when we are in Zoom, I don't know if that'll work. See, I didn't think this through because I have to be able to see the chat in order to do the, there we go. Look, I'm so special here. All right, so when we're doing this, we actually are streaming live. Can you tell I didn't practice this? So we do a live on Facebook. You can also do other lives through Zoom, which is where we're literally in Zoom in the meeting and we stream over. Now, you can also do YouTube and different things like that. We do a Facebook Live and then we kind of fix up our videos a little bit. We cut off the ends in the beginning and shorten it up and neaten it up for YouTube. So we're just going over to live on Facebook. And it brings me right here. I am already logged in. You do have to be logged in to your account or else it will prompt you. And right now, I'm just going to go to a page I manage. And I am on lots of pages, so it's always important for me to pick the right page. And we just go through the process. It's really not hard. I found that people really appreciate this feature of Zoom if they're running classes, if they are running webinars, anything like that, especially if you have, I've seen fitness classes and challenges do really well with this because you can actually go in and you can go through Zoom for people who don't use Facebook, but then you can also offer a live or a meeting in your Facebook group or on your page. So I'm just going to type in Free Advice Fridays 10, oops, not 11, it's not quite November, 10/16/2020. Super exciting. And you just fill out all the information, all the basics here. There we go. And I'm going to go live. It's as simple as that. And then it feeds over, and what we are on is our Facebook Live through Zoom. So I'm only on camera through Zoom, but it's sharing over. There's a little bit of delay on Facebook Live because it is going through Zoom, but it's really easy to do, super simple, and it's a nice way to get yourself on two platforms at once. Also, Zoom records this meeting and this video, so then I get the video, which I can fix up and put up on YouTube, which is how we get our replays. We don't have our replay from last Friday yet because my sidekick Anna has been out of the office and she is my amazing person who takes care of that. But so we curate the video. We personally use Camtasia, which is a software to get our videos clipped up, to put our little Free Advice Friday logo on there. And then we put them up on YouTube. And from there, we also just put them right on over to our website because we're just connecting the video. So again, it's not so much that we've got a ton of work that we're doing. We're not so much on 5 platforms at once. It's learning how to streamline things and how to do things in a way that works quickly and easily in multi-platforms. I like to multitask, as do most women and men too. Didn't mean to leave you out, you guys. But so it's a really nice and easy way to get ourselves up on Zoom, to get ourselves also up on Facebook. You can then move it over to YouTube and you have the video. You can use short clips. It's a really nice way to make a lot of content on several platforms. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Yes. Is it Camtasia? Yes. If I misspoke, if I said that it's something else, I'm sorry. It is Camtasia. And that is the program we use. So I'm going to make sure that we didn't have any questions because I couldn't see anything the whole time I was doing that. All right. Okay, no questions on that. So again, it's a really nice way to be able to use your content in several different platforms. Zoom is amazing for this, highly recommended. And certainly, like I said, doing a Facebook Live is a nice way to kind of do things live. And also we have found that when you're doing things like this, when you're doing a webinar or you're doing a weekly thing, consistency is key. Pick your time. Pick your day and stick with it. That way people know when to meet you online and they can kind of make it part of their weekly or their daily schedule. All right. Let me see. So now we're just going to jump into all of our other questions. Hi, I got a barcode with Price. What do I do with it? I had my graphic designer add it to the cover, and now the B&N cover has 2 barcodes. Help! Oh no, Sonia, it sounds like maybe you uploaded a Price barcode to Barnes & Noble's self-publishing site. So your Price barcode really only needs to go on your Ingram Spark cover. If you're uploading directly to KDP or directly to Barnes & Noble, they will stick their own barcode right on the back. So then you end up with 2. So I do not recommend that. But your Price barcode should go on your Ingram Spark cover. That way, when your book is printed and it goes out to bookstores and libraries, and not so much libraries, but bookstores, retail stores, gift shops, it's got a Price barcode on the back. So that's what you do with it. I also have a question. It's funny. A follow-up question asking, how do I get a Price barcode? Well, you can buy them from Bowker. There's other places to buy them. Or you can make your own. I actually just made a video this week about how to make your own that's going up on YouTube this coming week. Again, my sidekick Anna is out and she does all my awesome videos and she's fabulous and I miss her and she will be back next week. So not only will we have the replays of Free Advice Friday up, we will also have a video showing you how to create a Price barcode and how to place it on your cover. Can save you anywhere from $35 to $75. So highly recommend. It's super easy and I think it's like a 6-minute video. So if you're not on our YouTube, go subscribe so that you get that notice when it goes up. Okay, and yes, we absolutely still recommend a Price barcode on the back of a book. All right. Okay, what's your advice on how to get books into Costco and the big box stores? Any chance this can be done by indie authors? Yes, it absolutely can be done by indie authors. Now, I will say right now is kind of a weird time. Right now is a time where stores are being more selective. Not everything's open as much. They can't have as many different people and programs going on. They're not doing book signings. So it's a little bit different right now. However, an indie author can absolutely get into big box stores, Costco, airports. The key is making sure that your book is professionally published. It needs to have that Price barcode on the back. It needs to have a clean professional cover. You need to know that your book is available through a wholesaler like Ingram at a full trade discount. It's making sure that when you go to these big box stores, when you go to Costco, that you are able to present to them like a industry professional. And that's really the key, is that you can get into all of these places, but you have to approach them in a way that they're used to with all of the things they are used to seeing. A sell sheet, you should have a marketing plan. You should know that sometimes these things cost money. They do not just put your book on an end cap in Barnes & Noble for nothing. It can cost several $1,000s. So it's really important that you know the industry, you have a plan, both marketing plan and a plan for approaching these places so that you're taken seriously. It's also really important that as you're going to these places that you know your sales. You need to know your market and how you fit into the store in this market. So if I am going to a local store, I'm in Western New York, if I'm going to a local Costco, I'm going to tell them about my market here. I'm going to tell them why my book is a great fit, why it will be bought. I have to kind of lead them and help them imagine a world in which my book is the most important thing that people are running out to grab. So you have to sell them on the idea of your book first. Also know that most of these places, Costco, box stores, even Walmart, they start in a small test section. It usually goes regionally. It may be your local Walmart is willing to test a couple of books on their shelves. It may be that Costco is not going to just keep the books on their line. Well, they kind of don't do shelves. They do like the big tables, but Costco may say, I'm not going to put your book up here just all the time, but you can come in on a Saturday and have a booth and have your book and talk about it and do a signing. Again, a lot of that stuff is kind of weird right now with COVID, but that's how it works. It starts small. Barnes & Noble, they do the same thing many times. If you call your local Barnes & Noble and ask them to stock the book, if you tell them you're going to drive customers to their store, they may give you a chance. They may give you a Saturday afternoon to come in and bring books. And if your books sell, if it looks like it's going to be profitable for them, they keep them on the shelves. Then what you can do is say, hey, I was at this store on Saturday. We completely sold out. I had a great time with Lori, the manager there. And so I was wondering if we could also carry my books in this store. And then you kind of start building that relationships and know that the managers will talk to each other. They will tell if you were a great person to have there, if you brought in a crowd, how books sold. But that is how it works. That is how we got Anna Vocino into over 600 bookstores, because we just started regionally. We started small and they could see that sales were happening. So it was a good bet. She was a smart marketing move to keep putting in different stores because her books were selling and she was pushing people to go buy those books. So keep all of those things in mind. I know it's kind of a lot, but keep it in mind. Excuse me. Also keep in mind that now is not the time to be calling Costco and asking to be there for Christmas. Most bookstores, retail stores, gift shops, they already have their plans for the holiday. If you are reaching out for holiday sales, stop on November 1st. Like, now's your chance, but after November 1st, leave those poor people alone. They are busy, they're in the holiday season, and they've already made their plans. So again, that's professional industry knowledge that bookstores and retail stores are usually pretty busy and overwhelmed starting in November. Don't reach out to them. It's kind of just professional courtesy. So again, you can do it. You just have to know the ins and outs. And if we can help you and answer questions, just let me know. All right, what do you use for lighting and camera for your Zoom? Bob, I have a Logitech camera. It snaps onto your computer. I find that it's very easy to use. For a microphone, I have a Blue Yeti right here, or I'm sorry, a Blue Snowball. Mixing my brands. Blue Snowball, there's also a Yeti. Both of these are like $100 and they're fantastic. It catches sound from further away. I like the Blue Snowball because you can set it for one person, you can set it for multiple. So it's a nice little feature. And then for lights, I have a ring light. I have several. I have one that's like yay big and it can clip onto a cell phone or to a computer. And I also have, I'm gonna tell you all my secrets. This beautiful thing right here, they're like 20 bucks on Amazon. It clips on to my little table over here. So yeah, we can have a lighting, and it helps me keep the lighting even to make sure that when I'm talking to you guys, half of my face isn't in shadow or anything crazy. And I highly recommend get it, play with it, but also know you're going to have to sit in front of the computer in different spots in different rooms to see what works. And also keep in mind that if you have natural light, it may change over time, not only over seasons, but I can start a webinar right in front of the camera where I am now at 10 a.m. and by 11:30 my lighting's completely different and I'm suddenly like got half shadow. So make sure you play around with it, but highly recommend ring light, Snowball or Yeti microphone. You can certainly do the ear things too that plug in. It can just get kind of cumbersome. I really do not recommend any type of Bluetooth for your microphone or for headphones. It can go in and out too much. So if you're doing a webinar or podcast, the last thing you want to do is have your Bluetooth to go out in the middle of your call. Yeah, so Pat's asking, do you approach buyers at places like Costco with a printed book and sales materials via snail mail or online? Generally, everything's done on email. It's just kind of the way that we've gone. People don't necessarily like phone calls because it means that they have to stop what they're doing to answer a call. Snail mail may get there, may not. Is their processing center even open? I don't know, but email is a good way. So usually getting a email for either the manager or someone at the store, which you may have to call to do, to be honest, and then you email them and you give them a short pitch, something like, my book, it's time to get your finances right. Lame title, don't use that. But Time to Get Your Finances Right is coming out January 15th. I think it's fantastic. It's going to be so needed after Christmas, especially Christmas 2020 and the holidays when people are spending. I think it would be a great fit for your store. I'm local. I plan to drive people directly to Costco to buy the books. And I would love if you would consider having me into the store on a trial basis. I'm very open to any packages you have. I do have marketing budget. And if you're willing, I would love to send you a copy of the book and some marketing materials. Thanks so much, Keri. So again, you will see I'm a little wordy. I would not email that long, but it was kind of short, sweet, to the point. I'm telling them exactly what I want. I'm telling them I have marketing budget and I have some savvy about what they are looking for. Then I ended in a question. This is so important. When you're doing a pitch, try to end in a question, because human nature, your gut instinct is that people want to answer questions. It feels rude not to answer a question, even if the answer is no. They may reply back and say, no, thanks, I'm not interested. But having an open-ended question feels like it needs a response. It's hard to ignore for most people. So maybe they'll respond back and say, no, we're not accepting anything, sorry, move along. Maybe they respond and say, sure, if you'd like to send me a copy of the book, you can mail it to me at this address. Or sure, send more information over, let's call. But having that open-ended question is an invitation to keep the conversation rolling. And in my experience, it works really well. Lori's asking why I have a separate camera from my computer camera for Zooms. You don't have to have a separate camera, Lori. If your camera quality on your computer is not great, however, it's nice to have a camera. Computers can get outdated really quickly, and so can the cameras that are used. So if you're not getting clear quality, if your camera's going in and out, if you need to be able to move your camera, maybe I need to be able to point my camera or have a bigger, a wider lens so that I can have a whole team of people on here. That is when another camera can be really helpful. It's more for just making sure that you have a clear, crisp picture. Not always needed, but if your computer is a little bit older, you may want to have one. Yes, Pat, sales materials and book would be attachments, but I don't send those in my pitch. When I'm pitching Costco or bookstores, I don't send all of that. I ask if I can send them. So that way, if they reply back and say, sure, send me a copy of the book or send me your sales materials, I can attach them as a PDF. Because they've already replied to my email and we're going back and forth, it's less likely to be caught up in spam. And also, I'm not sending things uninvited that people may not open because we're a little, wary of attachments. It's something that they're expecting. I'm telling them exactly what it is, and they've told me I can send it. So again, I'm not just sending sales materials. I'm doing that open-ended question, asking if I can send materials. Got another equipment question. What do you use for earphones? It doesn't look like you're wearing a headset. I am not using a headset, but the reason why is on our Zooms, I just kind of sit here and I chat with you guys because you do chat and I talk. So I have my computer right now. Just looked at it. It's on mute because I don't need to hear anything. I don't have anything from you guys that I need to hear. So it's on mute. If I am on a webinar where I'm going back and forth with someone, I either use my computer. I use my computer for the sound going straight through there. Or you can use a headset, again, plugging something in. I don't usually find that necessary, but if your volume's not super good, you may want to look into those. Mostly make sure it's something that's comfortable for you. Make sure it's not something you're going to be fiddling with. You don't want to constantly be like, oh, sorry, my earbud. It's not cute to be digging in your ear on camera, as you just saw. So I just think it's important that you're comfortable, that it's not something you're going to get tangled in, and that it's clear. You're not going to sit there and be going, oh, I lost you. Oh, wait, my Bluetooth went out. I can't really hear. So just make sure that it's clear and that you're comfortable with it. All right. So we have a question from Wendy that I missed last week. Sorry, Wendy. But a question from Wendy was talking about doing our marketing, these 10-minute marketing moments. How do we decide what to do? How do we make sure that we're hitting the most important things in our marketing in an ongoing way? And my answer is this: when you are deciding what to do daily and you're kind of trying to organize yourself, I think most of you are fantastic. You're willing to do things, but it's kind of overwhelming. It seems like so much to do. I like to create a calendar. I'm a checklist girl. I like to mark things off. It makes me super happy. I am that person. And so for me, it's a checklist. For me, it's having things done. Now, whether that's a calendar on your phone, maybe it's an appointment on your phone that tells you exactly what to do. Maybe it's on your computer. Maybe you write it out. Maybe you just have a checklist on Monday, I do this, and Tuesday, I do this. But the most important thing to realize is your marketing will revolve around your goals. So I think the question you have to ask yourself before you start is, what is your goal? And let's check big goals. I mean, don't go small. Like, my goal is not to sell a book this week. I want to sell 50 more books than I sold last week. Or I want to rank in the top 100 in my category on Amazon. Pick a goal that is attainable. I mean, let's not be crazy and say I want to make as much money as J.K. Rowling this week. But pick big goals. Pick scary goals, but then put a little realism in there. And I think that when you do that, you have to look at your marketing and say, what is driving me towards this goal? If my goal is ranking on Amazon and I want to make sure that I'm in the top 100 for my categories this week, then my marketing should follow suit. What am I doing to drive people to my Amazon page? Am I running Amazon ads? Have I looked at my categories for optimization? Am I in the best categories? These are things that could be your 10-minute marketing moments. You can take 10 minutes in the morning and look at your categories and see if they can be improved. You can take 10 minutes in the morning and set up an Amazon ad. You can take 10 minutes in the morning and send social media posts out that drive people to Amazon. And then you kind of go from there. Pick a goal, whether it be weekly, monthly, or maybe it's a really big goal that's going to take 6 months. Ask yourself what it's going to take to get there and write it out. Even if you're not a list person, write it out. What will it take? What steps will it take to get to your goal? And if you don't know, research it. Ask people, see what other people have done. I think it's so smart to look at success stories and see what other people have done and see if it fits for you, see if it's realistic for you, and then see how you can emulate them. I think it's just smart to look at people who are doing things well and see how we can maybe emulate and use their success stories into our marketing base, into our knowledge. It's just smart. It's smart to do what's worked. So as you're taking out your marketing steps, get your goals. And sometimes it's a series of smaller goals that get you to that really big goal. If your goal is to be a USA Today bestselling author, that's not going to happen in a week. However, you may have a series of smaller goals that kind of build up to get you there. And that is what it is. That's how I always talk to clients, and this is how we manage their marketing programs, is knowing their goals and then the steps that it takes to get there. Then you break it out smaller and smaller and smaller until it's a 10-minute marketing moment, until you've got a manageable thing that you can do every day. And that's my best advice, is just know your goals. You have to have a target to hit, or else you're not really going to hit anything. I can say, I just want to sell a bunch of books. Well, great. That's not really a goal. I mean, it's kind of open-ended. So if I just want to sell a bunch of books, I can take a lot of time, I can spend a lot of money, and kind of just be throwing it all over, but I'm not going towards a specific target. And if I'm not aiming for a target, I'm not going to hit a target. I'm going to just lose my arrow in the woods. So find your target, find your goal, and then break down the steps to get there. And that is how you create your marketing moments. That's how you create your weekly schedule, your monthly schedule. And give yourself specific tasks. Because in my experience, if you've got something specific to do each day, whether you plan it out weekly, monthly, whatever it is, if you've got something specific to do, you're more likely to do it. If I just say, do all my social media, I'm going to be like, yeah, but I could just watch the show, or I don't know, I could go for a walk, I could tweet. But if I say I'm going to create 2 posts for every platform and schedule them out on Hootsuite, I've got goals, I've got things that I need to do, and I've got direction. So I hope that helps. If you have follow-up questions, drop them in. I, of course, want to answer them. All right. What's a good click rate on Amazon ads? This is a really good question. It's important to know that as you are doing Amazon ads, the average rate for book ads is 0.06% conversion or click-through rate. That's kind of the minimum of what I like to see. That's the average. I'll say that's the average. We like to be better than average, so I like to see higher than 0.06, but 0.06 is when I say, okay, it's not bad. But the click rate, keep in mind that when we're talking Amazon ads, the click rate is who you are getting your book in front of, and is it a good match? So are your keywords reaching out to an audience that resonates with your book and is getting them to click? If you're not getting that click-through rate, then you need to evaluate 2 things. Number 1, you need to evaluate your keywords. Are you using keywords that do actually go directly to your book? Are you using out there keywords that in no way have anything to do with your book? Let's not be clickbait, kind of is what I'm saying. And the second thing you need to ask yourself is, the thing that affects click rate more than almost anything else is your cover. Look at your cover. Is it standing up in the genre that you've written in? Is it enticing? Is it easy to read? Is it clear? From looking at your cover, do I know what I'm going to get in the book? And that's what I look for on click rate. Now, when you're talking about click rate to sale conversion, that's completely different. Your click rate means that people went over to your Amazon sales page, and that's great. They're on your page. Now we need them to hit the buy button. And if they're on your page, if you're getting a lot of clicks over to your page and not a lot of sales, I'm going to start looking at what is on your page. Is your description formatted nicely? Is your description pulling people in? Does your description clearly tell me what I'm getting in this book, or am I kind of just fuzzy on it? What about your price? Is your price comparable to other books in the genre? These are the type of things that can keep people from going from the sales page where they're looking at your book to pushing the buy button. So these are the things that I think you have to consider if you're getting clicks, but you are not getting sales. I think that covered the Amazon questions. But if you have follow-up questions, again, let me know. Let's see. Right. Another thing that I had come up over email, not too long ago, we were talking about Cameo as a way to kind of get your book name out there to build up interest. And someone had asked, well, how the heck does Cameo work? Cameo, for those of you who don't know, I didn't, I had to go research it. Cameo is a site where big names, celebrities, different people can put their they build a platform where they basically sell videos saying hi, personalized videos. And so it can be anywhere from, you know, Joe Schmo on YouTube to big name celebrities, athletes, different things like that. And they're basically, Cameo is connecting people with these celebrities or people of note to personalize a video. It could be a word of encouragement, it could be advice. It's totally crazy, like all the things that are on here. And it's a super cool platform. And someone again had asked, how does that help me with my book? I'm going to tell you, just this week, I had a client who has a great book. His name is Patrick Long, and his book is Ordinarily Extraordinary. And his book is a memoir and a telling of his wife getting sick with cancer and passing away. And it's just this incredible story. And his sister-in-law had gone to Cameo, to Mandy Moore, and had kind of put in to get her to give a shout out to him. And she did. She talked about his book, and it was awesome. So now Patrick has a video of Mandy Moore talking about his book. I'm willing to guess that's going to get a lot of attention. It's going to get a lot of interest. Super cool, by the way. I think this is like the coolest present ever. I'm putting it on my list. I think that Cameo can be such a cool Christmas present for people. Getting a shout out or a video. Anyway, little plug for Cameo. You're welcome. And of course, now he's got this video that he's allowed to use on other platforms that's specific to him, that's talking about his book. And he's got like this video for Mandy Moore. So it's super cool. So Cameo can help you build a market in the sense that you are borrowing interest from someone else. It's kind of like when we find our comp authors, I always say we don't want to steal readers, but we do want to borrow the readers. And that's kind of the same thing, because now Patrick can reach out to people who are interested in Mandy Moore, who may just watch her videos. It kind of is something he can use and create social media fodder and interest that he can post. So many cool things that are now available to him. And so it's again, it's a cool platform. Check it out. If you have anyone that you specifically would love to like talk about your book or look at your book, it's super fun. And my knowledge is super duper basic, but I think it's a cool platform for sure. Right. Any updates on Yassiv? I know we talked just for a minute on Yassiv last week. Yassiv is no longer. Yassiv has gone. As of March, it is not there. I haven't found any great replacements, and as far as I know, Amazon has not released anything similar to Yassiv. And Yassiv was like a book connection web that they used to offer from Amazon with sale points and connections, so you could find comps really easily. I've heard they may be developing like a paid app or something like that. I don't know if that's true, but as of right now, we do not have Yassiv. We've got to do our comp research the old-fashioned way, get on to bestseller lists and look at what books are selling, find books like yours, which I find to be the best research anyway, to really get in there and dig in deep. All right. See, what do you think about connecting with a charity? I am writing a social justice book and thought a human rights organization would be great to connect with for mutual support. Lori, I love this idea. I've seen this done several ways. Either your book really feeds into the specific charity's message, and so you speak to the people that are running that organization, and you say, look, my book is very much centered and supportive of your movement, and I'd like to be a part of it. Can I use your name? Can I support you? I've also seen people who will donate a portion of the proceeds to that nonprofit. And so they're kind of course, the nonprofit wants to talk about the product because they are getting benefit, and then you can use their logo. It's a nice tie-in. It's a great way to collaborate for support and for marketing for sure. And again, if you have a charity in mind, go to the organizers, go and ask them how you can connect, ask how you can help and support them. Just make sure that you're treating it as a two-way street. We don't want to just, try to slap a logo onto our book marketing and say, hey, I'm part of this charity. We really want to make sure that we are helping them in the same sense. And Lori, I know you, and I know that you absolutely would, but I wanted to bring that up, that it's important that when we are reaching out for collaboration, we are not just asking, we are also offering something, whether it be monetary support from the sales or spreading the word, whatever it is. It's important that when we ask to collaborate, that we're bringing something to the table as well. I love the idea of connecting to a charity or to an organization. Super smart. Ooh, specific tips for building a Twitter following. The thing with Twitter is it's fantastic, but you have to be active and you have to be engaged. So Twitter, I think that if you really want to build a following, get on there morning and night. Find at least 5 posts to like and to comment on. Retweet other people. Don't just talk about yourself. Retweet other people, or retweet or post things that are interesting to the community that you're a part of. If you're a romance author, then review other romance books. Talk about what goes into writing your romance book. Ask questions, do polls. Twitter, I think more and more is kind of pushing against this following idea and trying to gain more connection. And so you'll see that the more interaction and connection that you're giving, the more you'll probably get. And you must be active. You cannot schedule posts out for Twitter and kind of expect people to follow you. You have to be part of that conversation. You have to be active if you want Twitter to pay attention to you. I think that that's really what's trending right now. And also, Twitter is trending in the sense that hashtags, things like that, whatever's trending at the moment, if you are talking about it, if you're part of the conversation, you are more likely to get more interaction. So if there is a hot topic, a hot tag, which Twitter does tell you, it like tells you what's trending and your interest and all that kind of thing. If you're talking about those things rather than just things that are kind of evergreen, you're more likely to see movement there. Yeah, Denise is asking, can you suggest a Cameo blurb for your book? You can. I think it would be very hard to suggest that they endorse your book. However, you can say, I love a shout out for, I'm an author, this is my book. Again, very new to the platform. I'm not sure how it works, if they have to accept. I'm sure in some cases they do. It's not just kind of open and anyone can get it. But I think you can always ask. They can say no. It would probably be easier to just say, hey, I'd just love if you said something about my book. I think they have to be very careful about endorsements, and they also will have to be very careful about reviews if they haven't actually read your book, which is not what Cameo is. Cameo is not, hey, please read my book, take 5 hours of your time and give me a video. It's not that. But for sure, you can always ask and play around on Cameo, play around and see what the limitations are. My experience is yay big. I've seen some success, I've seen some cool things, but I'm not an expert by any means, and I'll play around too. And as we learn stuff, let's share it. I think it's awesome. All right. What are the steps to launching an ebook, paperback, and hardcover to KDP and Ingram Spark? That's a really, really big question. First off, you need your files. You need to make sure that you have your print interior PDF. If you are using both Ingram Spark and KDP, you need two covers. You need one full cover PDF cover for KDP, and you need a full PDF cover for Ingram Spark. You want the Ingram Spark cover to have a price barcode. You need your ebook files. And then if you have a hardcover, you need a set of files for your hardcover as well. So make sure you have all your files in one place, all your interior files, your book cover files, and your ebook files. You upload your book. I mean, you go onto KDP and you upload, you go onto Ingram Spark and you upload. You don't have to publish right away. You can upload those early. I tend to, when launching a book, release my KDP book first if I'm not doing a pre-order. If you approve your book for distribution on Ingram Spark first, they will automatically try to put the book over into Amazon. If it is not available yet, they'll put it up for pre-order. Again, this is through Ingram Spark. So if you want your book to be available from KDP for Amazon, where you make a higher royalty, you need to make the KDP book available first and then open up Ingram Spark. So again, as so many things with book marketing, it depends on your specific goals, but I tend to do KDP first, then Ingram Spark. And same thing for your ebook, you can do KDP and draft to digital if you're not doing Kindle Select for Kindle Unlimited, which of course is exclusive to KDP. So get your files, upload your files, and decide where and when you want your books to show up first. And that's kind of the broad overview. Keep in mind that your hardcover can only go through Ingram Spark. KDP does not do print-on-demand hardcover, so you can always put your book up on Ingram Spark and set that date early. It'll just put it up for pre-order over onto Amazon and Barnes & Noble and everywhere else. So big broad overview, but certainly you need to be looking at your goals, your book, and kind of plan out specifically for yourself there. All right, my book was released in January and will soon no longer be considered new. What would you say are the most important marketing tactics I should do while it's still new? I think that if you're going to be reaching out for bookstores, retail stores, you need to do it, I mean now, because basically we're heading out on November, and that's when we need to stop contacting those retail stores. So I think it's important that you start reaching out now if that's your goal. If you are trying to sell for the holidays, again, get it out there. As you said, your book is at the end of being new, so anything that will age quickly, you want to do it now. And usually that's bookstores and retail stores. Libraries will accept a book that's maybe a little bit older, so that's not so much a problem. And you can always sell online and through Amazon. But hit those bookstores and those retail stores. On that topic, we had a couple of questions last week about when to release your book and if you should release around the holidays, which was it last week? It might have been a couple weeks ago, but we had questions about releasing your book around the holidays. And I was so inspired that I went and I wrote a whole blog article about it that was posted to thebookdesigner.com, which is Joel Friedlander's site, to do this, not that. And it's all about your launch date around the holiday, which if you were one of the people asking that question, thank you for the inspiration, and you can check it out. I'll drop it in the chat box here. We, of course, love Joel over at The Book Designer because he is wonderful. And I'm going to drop that in there. Then we've got just a couple more questions, I think. Oh, look, I can't even find things. We are going to start buttoning everything up. So if you have questions, please drop them in the Q&A. Whoop, there go more questions. All right, whoops. Look, I'm struggling, totally struggling. All right. Oh, this is good to know. So Randy's saying if you're a poet, most Cameo presenters are cool pitching for you. You can also pay to DM the presenter asking for a book review. So that's super cool that you've got options and that you can do different things. I think that's very fun. What is included in a sales sheet? I will give you a very brief overview. In your sales sheet, you need your book cover front and center. You need your description. Always make sure that your ISBN is clearly printed somewhere. Your ISBN, your price, your pub date, your publisher, whether it's yourself or someone else, you need to have your publisher name out there. You need to have where your book is available from and at what discounts. So this book, whatever the title is available from Ingram at a wholesale discount. Do not make the mistake of saying your book is available from Ingram Spark. That is not true. Ingram Spark is your print-on-demand provider. Ingram Wholesale is where bookstores and libraries will buy from. So your book is available from Ingram at a full trade discount, hopefully, which means that you've uploaded it and set the discount at a 55% discount. So you need that information on there. You need contact information. Where can people get in touch with you? Is there a website? Is there an email address? Pretty much all the things that bookstores will ask. I will, if you're in the Free Advice Friday group, I will post a book sales sheet so you can see it and see kind of what we put on our standard. You can make these in Word. You can be, put in Word. You can make pretty sheets in Canva, which is what we do. Certainly Photoshop, you can have people make them for you. You can make them. The important thing is that you have the important bits and information about your book and ordering, and that it's clear and easy to read. Please don't make a book buyer go search for your ISBN. We need a clear call out, what your ISBN is, what your title is, where to contact you at, and where to buy from. The easier it is for them to order, the more likely they are to order. So again, it's so important that we have all the information they need, that we approach them like professionals by providing all of that and providing it in a clear format. All right, good. I'm hearing from Alan that he got his romance book, Summer Thunder, up for audio. So we'll be looking for that soon, Alan. That's a fun book. If you like fairies and romance, go check out Summer Thunder from Alan Gibson, A.B. Gibson. Let's see. I've got a couple questions in the chat, so I'm just making sure I hit those. All right. Yes, Terry's asking for the Joel Friedlander is at bookdesigner.com, and I got distracted, Terry. That's what happened. This over here. I will send out to everywhere. So I just posted the link to the Joel Friedlander's website, the book designer, and the article all about releasing your book around the holidays. Also, again, we've got replays of Free Advice Friday from last week, and this week will be going up next week. We're a little delayed because Anna is out, but those will be going up, and we have a special video going up showing you how to create a price barcode and how to put it on your book. So if you are not currently following us and subscribed on our YouTube channel, go subscribe. It's going up on there. And so if you want those kinds of videos, I am kind of trying to do some more how-to videos. So if you have a request on how to do something, if you want to know how to create a price barcode or how to create a sell sheet or a graphic or different things, send it in. Send that question in to questions@freeadvicefridays.com, and I'll type that in here too, questions@freeadvicefridays.com. If you want tutorials, let me know, because we're kind of ramping up and doing more of those on YouTube. I realize that a lot of people are visual learners. I am one of them. So if we can create videos that literally show you how to do things, we want to do that. The sell sheet, Lori, I'm going to put in the Free Advice Friday Facebook group. So if you are not yet, follow us on Facebook. You can find the links to all of this stuff, you guys, on freeadvicefridays.com. It will lead you to our YouTube, to our Facebook group, all the good stuff. So if you're not part of that group, go join. We will happily have you join us there. All right. Couple of last minute questions here, I think. Let me just check. I am really excited to let you guys know that next week we have a special guest coming up. We have Bob Eckstein, who is a cartoonist, joining us, and I am so excited. Bob has been a part of our Free Advice Fridays community for a long time now. He is a New York Times bestseller, a New Yorker cartoonist. He is a NYU adjunct professor, and he's a snowman expert, which is super fun. I know I've talked recently about a book that Bob sent me that I absolutely loved, and I'll show it again. All's Fair in Love and War. It's a really funny book that he compiled. It's got illustrations from several different cartoonists, and I have just hope that's okay, Bob, showing your book off. But it is hilarious. My husband and I sat down and we're reading these, and they're just short little illustrations and cartoons, and we got a huge kick out of it. So Bob will come and he's going to talk to us about illustrations, about writing during a pandemic. He's also going to tell us some about his newest book, which is The Elements of Stress and the Pursuit of Happy-ish in this current storm. So he's going to kind of be telling us about his new book, the writing process, about illustration. He is such a cool guy, and I am so excited for him to be here. So join us next week. If you have questions, again, email them in early, questions@freeadvicefridays.com, and we will have Bob next week. You guys, it's right at 11, so I'm going to say goodbye. Gosh, I wish it was good night. But thank you for joining me. It was so fun. We will see you next week here at Free Advice Fridays. Randy, I'm not repeating what kind of storm it was. I'm on camera behaving. But Bob's book is awesome. It's a great read, and we will have him here next week. We'll see you then. My name is Keri Barnum. I am here with Free Advice Fridays, and we hope to see you next week at 10 a.m. Eastern. Bye, guys.